Let's look at another example program, Rock, Paper, Scissors. This program lets the user play a game of rock, paper, scissors against a computer opponent. We'll start with an incomplete version of the program, and then you'll finish it for the homework.
The goal of this lecture is to become familiar with the starter code so you can write the rest of the program. Let's start by looking at the first 2 lines of the program.
What are these lines doing? They are defining 2 variables, comp and user. The variable comp stands for the computer's choice, and the variable user stands for the user's choice. Notice that comp is defined as rock. This means that anytime the program wants to use the variable comp, it will get back the word rock. Similarly, the variable user stands for the word paper.
Next, let's look at the if statements in this code. Remember, we saw if statements in the last lecture when we looked at the temperature function. An if statement has 1 or more blocks, and each block has a test and a body. Here, the blocks are bracketed in blue, the tests are boxed in red, and the bodies are bracketed in green. The code in the body only runs if the test passed. The one exception is the else clause. The else clause runs if all the tests fail, so it doesn't need a test of its own.
Let's look at the first block. If the computer chooses paper and the user also chooses paper, the first test passes. In this case, we print tie.
We mentioned that this code is incomplete. Let's play a few games of rock, paper, scissors, and we can see which parts of the program might be incorrect.
What does this program print? The computer chose rock, and the user chose scissors. The first test will fail, so its code will not be run. The second test will pass, because the computer played rock. Now, the code inside that block will run. This block is also an if statement. The first test passes because the user played scissors. Therefore, its body will execute, and the code will print, I win.
This matrix shows the results of our program. So far, we've seen that if the computer chooses rock and the user chooses scissors, the program correctly prints, I win. Now let's try another example. What does this program print this time? The computer chose rock, and the user chose rock as well. The first test will fail, so its code will not be run. The second test will pass, because the computer played rock. Now the code inside the block will run. The first test fails because the user did not play scissors. Now we go to the else case, which prints, you win.
Clearly, the provided code doesn't work for all cases. This matrix shows what the program prints for every possible game. The ones in red are incorrect, and the ones in green are correct. Take some time to convince yourself that the program prints what the matrix says it should.
Your job on the homework is to write the rest of the rock, paper, scissors program. What additional if statements will you need if you want to give the correct response for all the cases? Good luck!